We are Team Never Spark. Welcome to Team Never Spark's new logo, guys.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy TMacaroni, representing for Team Never Spark today, and I'm here with Ed TCG. Ed, let the people know what you did today.
So I just finished playing in CORE TCG's regional. I finished 11th out of 512 players with X-AntiBody with a 7-1 record.
That is amazing. You did very well today, so let's just get straight into the deck profile and let the people know what spice you're playing.
Alright, so to start off the eggs, the one of is Digimon, and then the 4 of is the new egg, KYOKYOMON.
So I know a lot of people, when playing this deck, they're actually playing the 4 Doraemon and the 1 Kyoko. Explain to me why you decided to go 4 and 1 in the opposite direction.
So what people don't realize about this deck I'm seeing is that while it is very aggressive, the fact that Oriyumon can just become such a big issue on your opponent's turn, they're overlooking that the higher you raise his DP, the harder it is to get past. So with this egg, if you're proccing his skill, he's going to at least 15,000, which gets you over a lot of things, such as Imperial with a Dino B under, or a Maste who decided that they're okay with crashing. It's just very key to just stall your opponent out, because you're just going to be rebooting at the end of your turn. So you can do both offense and defense if you just wait a couple of turns. Then for the rookies, we run 4 of Dorus. We run 4 of the Ryutas. And we run 4 of the Tsunorizas. So the Tsunorizas came in clutch in various ways. So while you can build very defensive stacks, if you see your opponent is bricking, the best playstyle is to go into an Alphamon with Oriyumon underneath and swing for as many checks as possible. With Tsunoriza and KYOKYOMON, it's very easy to get Alphamon to 13k before you even boost him. So the more times you're proccing that Tsunoriza, the better it is for you in the long term. And a couple of times, Pearson came into play where my opponent was forced to block, but because he was higher than 13k and I had to hard play to Tsunoriza, my check still went through, enabling me to go for game.
Very interesting, very interesting. So the security attack +1 does come in against some matchups as well, so that's very interesting to see. And I see with the Ryutamon is the new addition for BT8. How did the decoy come up for you? Did it come up in any matches?
So decoy I found is not a skill that comes up very often, but today, to my surprise, it came up huge in one match. I ended my turn by hard dropping a Ryutamon to search out a Yuji, and I finished by just digivolving into a level 4 over him. And my opponent's turn, he hard played a Chaos mode to destroy my Oriyumon stack, and the decoy came in very clutch at that moment.
Alright, so it comes up.
But for the most part, he's just the searcher. Okay. So, for the level 4s, we run 4 of the Rugamons. We run 3 of Grumbles. And we run 4 of Jinrimons. Okay, so standard level 5 lineup as well. We got 4 of Hisarumons. And we have 4 Dorgrays. So Hisarumon is great for 2 reasons. His main reason is when you have an effect that places a card under him in his sources, you can digivolve into an X-AntiBody and reduce the cost by 1. So if you swing with him and you tap a Yuji on your side of the field, on that swing, you can go into one of your level 6s. And depending on what you are, like what stage in the game you are, you can either set up a lot of defense or a lot of attack, or even both at the same time. Because his inheritable gives him reboot. So if you pair this with a Jinryu-mon, suddenly you have very big blockers on your field.
That Hisaryu on this set just gave it that kind of like way to switch from offense to defense on the fly if you need to.
Exactly. You become a gigantic pest if you have Hisaryu and Jinryu underneath. Okay, so we're running 3 Alphamons. And we're running 4 Oryumons.
Alright, so this lineup looks very interesting because I know I've discussed this with you before, but you aren't running any Dorugoras. Can you tell the people at home why you aren't running any Dorugoras? Because some people are probably looking at you right now and like, what is this guy doing?
So my problem with Doragora is that if they don't have anything that you can remove, then he's just kind of swinging for a lot of DP. But the problem, like the thing with all the level 6s, you can swing with that much DP easily. So with Alpha, at least you're getting the ability to extend your plays more than you are with Dorugora. So my form of removal, as I was talking about earlier, is becoming a gigantic blocker. So I'm not doing like a traditional removal. Sure, Oryumon's Digivolve ability to pop a 7 cost or lower came into play many, many times. His main form of stopping is becoming a blocker. Okay, so Tamers, we run 3 Kodas, and we run 4 Yujis. I really enjoy this. I'm hitting Tamers in security a good amount of times with 7, which is very nice because each Tamer will just give me whatever I need pretty much. So Kodas I like at 3 because I want to see him. He's a great searcher at the end. Like when you're in the end game, when you're getting a lot of memory on the side of the field, he can be the difference between finding a piece you need to win the game or not. And then Yuji as 4 is kind of obvious. So Yuji is a 3-cost tamer, and on your turn, when your Digimon with X-AntiBody in its trait is moved from the breeding area to your battle area, gain a memory and draw 1. And then his secondary effect is when you swing with an X-AntiBody, you can tap him to play a source. So you can swing with the Hisaryu, tap him to play a source to finish your swing off with a level 6. Or with Oryumon, you can trigger his protection and DP buff every single turn, which is kind of what this deck is centered around. So if you're not seeing multiple Yujis, the game already becomes much harder, but this deck makes it easy for you to see at least two Yujis. Okay, we have 2 Black Memory Boosts. We have 2 Breath of the Gods. And we have a 1 of Brave Metal.
Alright, so with this option lineup, you're running the 1 of Brave Metal. I know a lot of lists are running Aizen Ryuji, that new card from BT8. Why did you decide to go Brave Metal over Aizen Ryuji? And I also see you're using the Breath of the Gods tech right here as well. Can you explain that to us and why you made only 2? Because I know some lists are running 3.
Okay, so I'll start with the Brave Metal. I did a lot of testing late at night yesterday, and I realized that Aizen Ryujin, as nice as it could be, it just doesn't do enough. So I put this card in my deck specifically for Maste and Imperial, and it actually won me 3 games against those decks. So against Maste, a lot of the times, if they have a Gado, they'll hard drop a Gado to start turn. With an Aizen Ryujin, you can't get rid of that Gadomon. So they put me to 5. I started with Brave Metal in my hand, Brave Metal the Gado, went to 0, and I had a turn advantage just off the bat because of Brave Metal. Then for Imperial, I was able to get rid of a Pyodramon stack before they were able to do anything crazy because I stopped them from swinging because I had a big blocker on the field. So Brave Metal actually won me a good amount of games. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to keep it in over Aizen Ryujin because I think it's more versatile. Then for the Breath of the Gods, I used to run 3, but I realized that in the matchups, it just kind of makes it a win more card against like Yellow Hybrid, Rapidmon. It's great that you don't get your DP reduced, but when you build this way, you end up getting a lot of guaranteed memory and draws that even if you lose your first stack, chances are you can build a second stack that's better than what you build at first. So I tried cutting it down to 2. I liked it. I saw it when I needed to. The only time it really came up today was to give something reboot that didn't have it at the moment. So I think it's too good to not cut, but I think at 2 is just fine. Then Black Memory Boost was just another form of searching primarily. The memory gain obviously is always a benefit, but I just used it to find the pieces that I was missing. Like I used it to find a Grumble to swing for game. So really liking this option lineup. So ideal combo, obviously as many UGs as you can get on the board, but let's be realistic here and say you only have the Coda and the UG. So you'll start off with 3 memory because of your Coda. In your raising, you have a Kyoko, a Tsunoriza, a Jinryu, and a Hisaryu. So what you would do is, you would raise, you would gain a memory from Yuji, you would draw a card. You would swing Hisaryu, you would tap Yuji. Now here is where you have to decide. Do you think there's a possibility of you hitting a 15,000k Digimon in security? Most oftentimes that answer is going to be no. So here you would want to go for aggressiveness. So if I have it, I like sticking a Doru Gray underneath, and this would trigger Hisaryu's effect. So I would Digivolve on the swing into an Oriyumon. This would reduce the cost by 1. So I would go from 4 to 1. I would draw a card, then I would use Oryu's effect to stick something else. And in a perfect world, we'll stick another Doru Gray. So at this point, you're going to be swinging for 14,000. The Kyoko gives you 15,000. You'll swing for 1, 2, 3, 4 checks. You'll do your 4 checks. Chances are it's probably going to survive. And at that point, you can finish off by hard dropping a rookie to search or a mem boost or anything. At the end of your turn, you'll reboot, you'll become a 15,000k block. Okay, again, ideal scenario, but more realistic, you have 1 Yuji out. In raising, you'll have a Kyoko, a Tsunoriza, a Darugamon, and a Doru Gray. You'll start at 3 because of your Coda. You'll raise the Doru Gray, go to 4. Then you'll Digivolve into an Alphamon to go to 1. So Alphamon right now is 12,000 because of the Darugamon. You swing Alphamon, you tap Yuji to place an Oriyumon underneath. Then you get to the side because now your Alphamon is 13,000. Do you pay 2 extra memory to make him 15? Or even just 1 to make him 14? Depending on the deck, chances are yes. So let's say you paid 2. So you went to 15,000. There's a big chance you're surviving that check. So you'll be swinging for 15,000 for 1, 2, 3 checks. You do 3 checks, you gain 2 memory, go to 1. Oriyumon will restand him. Then you swing for 3 more checks. Chances are you survive, you gain 2 memory, and at that point, you just grumble over Coda and go for game.
Just give us some shoutouts before.
All right, shout out Team Never Spark, of course. Let's go. Shout out to my boy Mitch who helped me do like my late night last second testing, helped me find out about the Brave Metal, and shout out to you TMac for getting me on this deck in set 7.
No problem, my G. I knew the deck was very fit for you, and I'm glad you ended up taking it up and getting your Nats invite for it. But guys, that is gonna wrap it up for the video. Let me know in the comments section. Let us know, like, are you guys playing this deck? Are you gonna bring this deck to the regionals? And shout out to everybody who participated in Core TCG today. I hope you guys got your invites, and we'll definitely see you in the next one. Peace.